I'm James Thorstensen, a network engineer at Viking Technology Solutions. Data backup and recovery is a topic that most small businesses are aware is important, but we often find a patchwork of solutions in place and no clearly defined process. I'm going to outline our process for backups, which can be applied to any small business, whether you're coordinating with a vendor or have an employee handling it in-house. These are important concepts that you should understand to ensure any loss of data during an outage isn't permanent. You don't need a technical background to be informed on the data backup policies within your company, but the devil's in the details, and some basic industry terminology will help you make informed decisions and have some control over what happens when IT systems fail. I also have a mischievous little trick anyone can use to find out if their current backup plan is running as expected, and I'll include that at the end. We define data backup plans with this six-part framework. It begins with the scope, what is being backed up, the repository, where is it being backed up to, the frequency, how often, retention, how long are backups stored, recovery planning, what do we do when data recovery is needed, and finally, reports and testing. These are status notifications by email and regularly scheduled data integrity checks to confirm backup recovery points are both available and not corrupted. So first we have the scope and repository, the what and where of data backup. Scope is what is being backed up. This could be files and folders on a laptop, a full system image of a server, or if we're backing up a cloud environment like Microsoft 365, it could be OneDrive, SharePoint, email, and Teams data. The repository is the location where backups are stored. With few exceptions, we back up data to an off-site cloud repository to ensure that backups are isolated from any negative events that impact systems within the backup scope. Within the repository, we also want the backups to be immutable, meaning once a backup is taken, the restore point cannot be modified, which is an essential step for protection from ransomware. Next up is frequency and retention, meaning how often and for how long. Backup frequency defines how often backups are taken, say daily at 12 p.m., and retention is how long individual recovery points are available for recovery, say for example 6 months before old recovery points are deleted to reduce storage space. We've covered what, where, how often, and how long. Next is what if, and that's recovery planning, which defines in a written process what happens when data backups are needed after a system fails or information is accidentally deleted. This is often overlooked after a backup product is installed and can unfortunately also be a major pitfall. Problems in the recovery process significantly extend recovery time and are often only discovered after an unexpected incident occurs, and by that point, it's too late. Even if the data is backed up, restoring it becomes a fact-finding mission, trying to put the pieces back together. So we plan that process out on the front end to minimize recovery time. Last on our checklist, we have reports and testing. Reports on backup status should be flowing to at least one person in addition to whomever is running IT. Usually this is a daily or weekly summary report by email. Now, if you've hired an IT company to handle this for your business, they'll be taking care of the daily checks and testing, and that's certainly what we do at VTS. But regardless of in-house or outsource, at minimum, a summary backup report should also be going out to an executive or director level person in your organization to ensure some accountability is in place. In addition to the reports, scheduled periodic backup testing must take place to ensure that recovery points are viable. A simple example of why that process is important is what if the power went out during a regular scheduled backup, or a corrupted file is being backed up that would stop a recovered system from booting once it's restored. These types of issues should be discovered and resolved during normal operations, not when a business is relying on a recovery point following an incident. And that's why routine backup testing is a must. Oh, and of course there is a simple trick to find out at least if your file backups are running. Create a file, let's call it an Excel spreadsheet named Important Data. Save it in a location that's part of your backup scope. Let a day or two go by and then delete it. A week or so after that, ask IT to restore it for you and see what happens. Hopefully your file comes back quickly. If not, your business needs a consult on data backup and recovery planning and can get in contact with us. We'll evaluate your system against this 6-point framework and identify what may need to change to protect your company's intellectual property safely and securely. We're here to get businesses outsized results with their technology, and data backup and recovery planning is always part of that formula. If you want a robust data backup and recovery plan, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks.